haven't been talking too much about politics lately, partially because I think I'm trying to kind of get it out of my mind. So I'm slightly concerned about what the world looks like a week or two from now. But there was one topic that I thought was relevant and important to talk about. So we have the election obviously coming up, and who knows what's going to happen, or who's going to win, and how's it's going to play out, and how smoothly it'll go. But at least from a poll's perspective, the suggestion is, or the projection is, that Biden's going to win. Again, who knows if that'll happen. But let's assume, for the sake of this video, that that does happen, that there's kind of a clear-cut victory. Hopefully there's no issues with fraud or any accusations of that, and everything's pretty clean, and everybody believes and has faith in the election, and Biden wins. So that means a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things that implications to that. But to me, perhaps the biggest one is the opportunity. The opportunity for conservatives, Republicans, Trump supporters, whatever it might be, to seize that moment. And I talk a lot about the idea of being the change you want to see in the world. And that if we expect the world, the country, society to get better, somebody's got to step up in that moment where they don't have to, but they do it because it's the right thing to do, and they set the example, right? When you're in that position, when perhaps you feel justified, perhaps it feels right, perhaps it just feels like the thing that you have to do, but you don't. You do the other thing that does PhD level math in terms of your calculation versus elementary school level math, right? So what do I mean by that in terms of Biden winning? So we've gone through 4 years of Trump, and this could go either way, right? You could apply this the same way the other way, and this is a problem we've had, at least in recent history, the last 15, 20 years. Let's say Biden wins, though, and there's going to be a lot of people that aren't happy about that, potentially. They're going to feel like that's not the person they want running the country. They're going to have concerns about the job he does, among a number of other things. But at the same time, those same people for the last 4 years, or at least some portion of them, have criticized Democrats for how they've handled the fact that Trump won the election. And they didn't like the fact that he was the president. And they didn't respect the fact that he was the president. And there's at least a belief from some on that side that the actions of Democrats and liberals have hurt the country because they've never embraced the president, because they didn't actually care about bringing the country together, and they just cared about getting that person out of office, and they just never, got over it. They were kind of, some of the terms used, throwing a hissy fit about it, whatever it might be. Okay, let's even assume that's true. Let's say what you believe, you're okay to believe that. Well, now's the time. Now's the opportunity for you to show how it could have been done, how it should have been done, the right way to handle that moment. Because again, you could feel justified. You could feel right. It could feel right in your bones and in your soul and deep down in the mud that if Biden wins, you need to voice your issues, and that this is bullshit, and that he's going to ruin the country and you'll never support him. You could do all those same things. And again, it might feel right. But think big picture. Think PhD level math. Think, hey, if this country's going to change and improve for the better, seemingly, right? I'm speaking to Trump supporters now, and seemingly this is what you believe, at least some of you, that the Democrats, the liberals, aren't going to do it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't embrace it. Well, then you do it. You think about what's better for the country and seize on that moment to say, hey, that's not who I wanted to be my president. I have concerns about what he's going to do in some of his policies. I have concerns, around different areas. But I believe in our system. I believe in the processes we have in place. And I believe in America. So I am going to embrace the president. I am going to embrace what he's trying to do and hope that he makes the country better for all of us. And most importantly, I'm going to take this opportunity, forget the politicians and the big names. I'm going to take this opportunity to try and bridge a gap with my fellow citizens who I've disagreed with vehemently for the last 4 years or beyond, or really over the last few months, and say, hey, I want what's best for America. The person I wanted to win did not win. But I'm going to use this to try and bridge that gap. I'm going to use this to be the change I want to be and set the example I'd want to see. And let me be clear, that is fucking hard. It's really hard. For those watching the video who perhaps are Democrats, liberals, or even Republicans who, were around when Obama was there, it is so easy. It is so natural and so right, and there's such a nice groove there to go into that just says, nope, I'm going to be against everything they do, or I'm going to look to criticize everything. in effect, I'm going to be inconsistent. I'm going to judge that politician and how they handle themselves and the decisions they make differently than I would if it was the person on my team. It is so easy and it feels so good to do that. But again, think about the bigger picture. Think about what really matters and what the objective is, as we always say. What's the objective? Is the objective to win and be right? Is the objective to stick it to the other side? Right? Or is the objective to have a better country? Is the objective for America to do better as a whole? Because if that's the objective, then please take this opportunity to seize that objective, to see what's happening and act rationally and logically towards that objective for the bigger picture, for the longer play.